Hello world, my name is Tendai Sbad and thank you for tuning in to School Big with NetOne, the program that brings you closer to your favorite stars, athletes, musicians, you name it. And today I'm excited in studio to have one person who has done it all, played in Zimbabwe, played for the Warriors, played for Caps United, went to South Africa, played for Kwakwa, played for Mamelodi Sundowns, and he does a lot. He's also a sports producer, a sports anchor. He does have a marathon that is proudly hosting each and every year. And before we get into the discussion, remember this is proudly brought to you by NetOne, Zimbabwe's leading telecommunications company, bringing the world in one into your own space through our fast and reliable internet services. I'm excited to have you on show, Mr. Bunjira, affectionately known as GQ. Thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's good to be here. Excited, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Alois Bunjira.
Yes.
Alois Bunjira. I mean, let's talk about your name.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm reading your name, it's Alois GQ Bunjira.
Yeah.
I understand the G may stand for Gazza.
Yes.
What about the Q?
The Q stands for Q.
For Q?
Yeah.
So it's Alois Gazza Q Bunjira.
Yeah, it's actually for Quincy.
For Quincy.
It's a nickname that I got. It's actually my very first nickname, childhood nickname. We were watching this movie called Juice. There was Tupac and Omar Epps. So Omar Epps had this nice slanting hairstyle that he had. So after we watched the movie, I went to do the haircut.
And then you became
So when
Quincy.
I came back to play football with my friends, now they saw me with the haircut. Now they already knew about the. So they started calling me Quincy Q. Yeah, that's how it.
So that's how we became to know Alois GQ Bunjira.
Yeah.
So you've already. How was it exactly? How was it growing up in Chitungwiza?
It was like any other ghetto, where all you do is to play on the streets. During the day, so we spend a lot of time outside playing in the streets. You name it, we played all the games growing up. Fish, Mafrau, soccer mostly.
Yeah.
Yes, for some of us it was mostly soccer, and obviously we went to school close by. The good thing is every township had a school close by.
Yeah.
So for me it was like 100 meters from my parents' house, where I studied my grade 1 in Sengeza 7 primary school, and I went to high school in Sengeza 1 high school as well. Yeah. So it's basically like my early childhood.
Sengeza 7.
Sengeza 7 primary school, yes.
Amazing. So would you say that from the dusty streets of Sengeza, if I would say that, this is where you were shaped to become the person you are today?
Yeah, I can say that. I think football shaped me, to be honest, and that's what I played a lot in the streets. And most of the skills were self-taught. We played without coaches, without referees even. Very disciplined, because the match would finish without a referee. If it's a handball, it's a handball.
It's a handball.
In the streets. We were so organized like that. If Chinese money is a sticking. Do you know sticking?
I was like, I like that.
And it magida ngari matombo.
Yeah,
so boranga flying mamsoro matombo. So you would know with ranga to go outside. Science sticking. Do ya ngari the problem. Yes. High bora over if the keeper is short. If it can't reach it, then it's not a goal. Yeah. So basically that's what we did in the streets. We played, but during the week sometimes when we have other things, that's when timing and wishu, and all these sports. To be honest, they shaped us because they had the physical aspect to it. The agility, the strength training,
awareness as well.
Yeah, a lot. Like raga, you had to sprint, you had to be dummy, you have to get away from the ball. And when you run, you have to run around, and while you are running, you have to be counting the number of circles that you're getting into. Yes, so it shaped us. The streets shaped you. Yeah, they really shaped us, and but for me it was mostly soccer.
It was mostly soccer. So there was nothing else, no basketball, no volleyball. It was just
no. Besides those unconventional sports in the streets.
Yeah.
I never played
anything else.
Any other, like my top sport. I only played tennis later on when I was in high school.
When I was in high school. So your destiny was set from a very young age.
Yeah, I think I was born a footballer.
You're born a footballer.
Yeah, I was
amazing.
Born a footballer.
And then education. How good was Alois Bunjira? Pama books up. Because there's a thing.
Yeah.
The more you are good at playing football, usually the educational side, you know, better do name Bijan.
You know, I was actually more popular in the neighborhood for academics than for football. Yeah, because from grade 1 to 7, I think I was always number 1 in class.
Amazing.
And yeah, so I was actually very popular at parents' prize giving day. My mother would go in and out collecting the prizes. So
best in shoulder.
Yeah.
Best in English.
So yeah, no, in class I was kind of like a wizard. I think if it wasn't for football, probably I could have been a professor or a
professor.
Yeah.
So what they say, especially when you're reading the internet, you were given a scholarship at some point to study in the United States of America.
Yes.
And then you withdrew to focus on football.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying if it wasn't for football, I could have been a professor. Yeah, I got a scholarship after my A-levels at Prince Edward. Then I went to America, to USA, to Western Kentucky University, the Eurotoppers. Very nice school. I loved it there, but in the football calling,
just brought you back.
Yeah, brought me back because when I went there, Major League Soccer was not there yet. It was just college football. I think the unfortunate part is when I went there, I was already a national team player. I was not even eligible to get that scholarship, to be honest, in the first place. Because they want amateurs into
You were now playing national team football.
I was already playing for the national team, and I had to suppress that. And whenever I got an interview, I was told not to say anything, not to mention about me playing for the national team because of that issue of scholarship, because they didn't want professional footballers to actually get those scholarships. So when I started playing there, I could see that I was way above the standard of football that was there. And now I was playing college football, but it was good. It was very well organized, traveling all around America in the Sun Belt Conference. We were in the Sun Belt Conference. So I played there for 1 year. I was the freshman of the year, and I was also in the Sun Belt Conference best 11
team of the year.
Yeah. And then I was looking back, and then by that time now I was getting a lot of offers coming through. You know, with Slow Grabowski was sending in my functional fax, by the way.
Okay.
So we're getting these fax, my fax coming in through our coach and through the administration office. They will be telling me, there's a fax that came from Poland. There's a fax that came from Slovakia. So I started thinking, what am I doing here?
Is it really worth this?
Is it really what I want? Do I really want to be an engineer? By the way, I was studying mechanical engineering.
So you actually were a genius.
Yeah. I was doing mechanical engineering, and I was like, do I really want to be
an engineer?
I wanna, but football was just overpowering.
Okay.
I decided I'm going to take my chance. When I got the call from Alois Grabowski saying that Galatasaray from Turkey, they wanted me. They really wanted me. That's when I made my decision. That,
no more engineering.
You know what? I'm going as an engineer and
Okay.
Yeah. So I took I made my bookings. The coach, I left the coach. He was very disappointed. I went to his house. I explained to him that because I need to go. But he said, you are one of the very few students that got, because I was on a full scholarship, full scholarship. Mm-hmm. I didn't pay for any book, for anything. Even for pocket money, I actually had my card. They always used to feed money into
your card.
Into my card. Yeah, going around the Bowling Green area, or the McDonald's, your Shoney's and everything. I would just swipe my card. I could just go and get food. I was like, yeah, it was really cool. But I wanted to play because I saw Norman had moved from Poland to Galatasaray at that time. So he was actually at Galatasaray at that time. So I took my flight and I came back here and met up with the guys from Turkey. The manager, I remember, his name was Sesken, and Grabowski. We met at Miku's hotel. I was supposed to go to Turkey, and then that's why I just decided to quit. Yeah.
No, amazing. I mean, I love having the conversation because there's a lot to talk about. McDonald's before we did. But we have to go on a break, of course, but we still have a lot to talk about. So for the viewers at home, remember this is Alois GQ Bunjira. If you're still wondering what the Q stands for, it's for Quincy, one of his first nicknames when he started playing in the dusty streets of Zengeza 7. It's exciting. We're going to go on a break and we come back and finish this conversation.
With the rising of the sun, a new dawn beckons, giving everyone hope for a better tomorrow. One Money Remit brings convenience to your doorstep, connecting the hustlers, providers, long-distance carriers, and loved ones from one part of the city to the most remote parts across Zimbabwe, connecting people and bridging the divide through technology. We are committed to delivering innovative mobile solutions, enabling you to send and collect US dollars anywhere and making sure life goes on through one secure connection, keeping smiles alive and making a difference no matter where you are. With One Money, it's one time.
Welcome back. You're still watching Score Big with NetOne, and I'm with Alois Bunjira in studio. We were talking about your journey from childhood, but there's a song, I believe you were coming from a place with people and as well guardians. When you made that decision to leave the United States of America, your mother,
we were 6 in my family, 5 boys, 1 girl. I'm number 5. In that, and my sister is the youngest. So I've got 4 big brothers. I had 4 big brothers, and my mother and my father. But I'll tell you that this is one decision that I made
on your own, for myself,
on my own. Was I told them that I was coming. Not even one of them agreed with me. Everyone was like, stay there. Everyone thought it was about homesickness. They kept on saying, stay there, stay there. The funny thing, when I left at the airport, everyone was crying that I was leaving. Now I want to come back, everyone is saying, stay there. But that's the decision. But I think Grabowski put so much pressure on me. He had invested in me. He started paying for my school fees when I was in Form 3. I was already on a scholarship with Darren T at that time. And they were paying for me, and he's the one who transferred me when I passed my O's. Then I had to go to Printed Watch because he didn't want me to stay far away from Darren T, because I was now playing for the first team when I was in Form 4. So he said, no, you cannot, because most of the time I also still needed to study as well. When we finished training around 6, 7, I had to get a bus to Chitungwiza and back. So he just decided, you know what, we need to stay closer, I need to bring it closer. So he took us to St. Tropez apartments and bought us a mountain bike for me to cruise. It was still the in thing at that time. So I made that decision, but with the full support of Whistler Grabowski. Like I said, he had invested in me for football, and now I was going to spend 5 years in university. In university, and he actually thought those 5 years without playing competitive football,
we're going to go to waste.
He was going to lose me. Even with the national team, they were not calling me when I was in college now, and I was not coming back for the national team. He just thought, you know what, my guy, if you decide to stay there, football is finished. But if you want to play football, you gotta come back here. So I made my decision to come without my parents. Were livid. They were very angry with me. I didn't even tell them the day that I was boarding. I just boarded. They saw me at home. I arrived with a taxi from the airport, and I was at home, and they were like, "What?
What we did by now?"
But it was done. I was back.
So let's talk about Darren Textiles, Blackpool, Chitungwiza, also brewing some of the best talents. Nomen Mapesa, I believe, Stuart Murisa. You talk of your goalkeepers there. That transition now into professional football and coming from Chitungwiza. Do you believe that just because you came from Chitungwiza, this was just playing into one big dream that made you to become the person you are? Because you also joined a list of the likes of Peter Ndlovu, playing for the national team at a very young age.
Yeah.
So when you look at that, and you look at the guys like Noben Mapesa, and who you have become, was it all just meant to happen?
Yeah, I think it was meant to happen. Like I said, I think I was a footballer through and through, and academics, it was some natural gift from God as well. But I think football was my calling. To be honest, in Chitungwiza, we were lucky that there was never Gombera. You know, he was the coach of Darren T Juniors at that time. So Darren T was well funded at that time, sponsored by Context Styles. Remember Context Styles? Yeah. Yes. So he had the leeway or the power to grab any best talent that he wanted in Chitungwiza. Every young boy in Chitungwiza wanted to play for Darren T because of the benefits, you know, the bars, you know, the allowances after the game, you know, all those kind of things, the track suits. So he basically was cherry picking the best players in Chitungwiza. You know, so he came. I was playing for Black Rhinos at that time, and we played Darren T at one commando barracks under 16. Then he just came to me. He said, "Yeah, how can you play for a team in town? You
come play for this team.
Play for this team." Then he came to our parents' house and he talked to me. I was actually ordered to play for Darren T by my parents because he explained to them that because of he used to coach this very popular team in Zengeza and Santos. You know, so my parents were actually wowed by a visit by Gombera to the house. Yes, so I was actually told from today onwards you're not going to Black Rhinos anymore. You are now going to Darren T. That's when I met an Anoman. You know, an Anoman, Lloyd Chitembwe, Gift Mzadzi, you know, and I then recruited Stuart because I got there, then recruited Stuart. Stuart was playing for Marisa at that time. Then I recruited him. Then we went together to Darren T. And we only played for 2 years in the under 16s, then we got promoted to the first team.
The first team. Yeah. And then the transition into the national team. How was that for you, playing for the Warriors?
Yeah.
Because you played at a time when we had a lot of grades at that time.
Yeah, I didn't expect, to be honest, I didn't expect to play for the national team at that time. You know, I think I was still doing my A-level, my lower six at Prince Edward at that time, and you had just been promoted into the first team. At Darren T. We were also surprised by the strides that we made because we went all the way to the final of the Castle Cup in that year. And in the final, we drew the first game at the National Stadium 1-1. Madesi, they were still replays. So the game was replayed and they ordered the replay to be at Rufaro Stadium. So in that replay, I don't know what came. I know I was like possessed. To be honest, and I was outstanding. Everything that I got, I was just going through the defense. That's when I got the nickname Crisscross. At that time, yes. So after the game, everybody was just amazed. This little boy. When we were playing for Darren T, they didn't really pay attention because we were these young boys. But for that game now, people now know who are these kids? Who are these kids? And we beat Cape United 4-0 with Shakita Oro, Joel Shambo, the Joe Mugabes, and them. Everybody was the Mpumele Rotoas, and everyone was shocked that these boys, because most of us were under 20s. I think half the team was under 20 at that time. And the next day, I found myself being called to the headmaster's office on the Monday. I thought I had done something wrong because there was a prefect that came to our physics class. I was in the physics class with Ms. Degune, and then Ms. Degune, he is from Ghana. He stammers, and I got me scared. So the prefect came to the door, to the lab, and he talked to them. I didn't hear what. So Mr. Degune just came. Bunjira, you are wanted at the headmaster's office. You know, I was so scared. I didn't know
it's not every time you get
what
to
was
be
going
coach.
on. Yeah, you know, because Banza Ichkisa, Clive Banza was he was like. So I went with the prefect. Then the prefect, when he got there, he said, "I come inside." I was shocked when I went inside the headmaster's office. Renard Fabish was sitting there with the headmaster, and he had come by himself to actually give me the call-up. I was given the call-up in the headmaster's office.
Personal call-up?
Personal, yeah. So
Amazing.
I was told that this is Mr. Fabish. Already, of course, I knew him already.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Fabish. He's here. He wants you in camp. The national team was already in camp. You know, we used to have long camps at that time. So they say they want you. So you need to go to the camp. But I have told him that you are a minor. Because I was 17 at that time. You are still young. You have to get permission from your parents to get into camp. So they need to speak to your parents. As a school, we don't have a problem with that, but they still need. So that's when they sent a delegation. I think it was Sunday Chitambwa, John Piri, Francis Shonai, and Willard Kumalo. So they took me after school. We went to my house, my parents' house, and they had to ask for permission to take me to the camp. So I was allowed. My parents, they called my brothers, everyone was excited. So I packed my bags, I went to camp. We were camping at Crystal Lodge at that time. So that's how I got into the national team. But the good thing is we were called at the same time with Norman after the same game. So we were roommates at there. So we were teammates from under 16, we were teammates at Darrenty, and then we were called together at the same time. So we were in the same room. So I didn't struggle with loneliness and everything. Because you had a teammate. I had a teammate in that room. So that's how I became a dream team member. It was the dream team at that time. It was famous dream team. I was with the players that I used to read in the newspapers, the players that I used to cut their pin-ups in the parade.
Stick them on the wall.
Yes, I still had the pictures in the wall, and now I was camping with them. It was just absolutely amazing. But I was used now because we were training with John Piris, the Jafet Mparutsas, and them. So it was really cool. By the way, I told Jafet that when he was Soccer Star of the Year, I was in grade 2.
And now you're playing with him?
Yes, I'm playing with you. You're now my teammate.
Longevity as well.
Yeah, so that's how I got to the Dream Team, and it was an amazing time because Dream Team had just started. I got into camp after just one game when we beat South Africa 4-1. Yeah, then after that game, I was already part of
national team. So now when you look back at your life, before we close the segment quickly, would you say that was your score big moment? From being a little Alois Bunjira from the streets of Zengeza to Prince Edward, now playing for the national team, was that your score big moment?
Yeah, my score big moment, to be honest, was moving from Zengeza to Prince Edward.
Prince Edward.
You know, we used to see these guys wearing their blazers. We used to admire them. When it's Masalad. I never thought for any moment that I would ever
do that as well.
Be at that school. And I found myself at Prince Edward, one of the best schools, and that time Prince Edward area, you know, and I found myself at Prince Edward. For me, that was my first score big moment.
Your first score big.
Then the call-up now in the headmaster's office
was just the icing on the cake.
Was the second score big moment. That one was like really big.
Really big.
It was really big. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, but it is what it is. Now I was Bruce Grobler's teammate.
Imagine from Liverpool.
Imagine he was playing for the national team when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
Now he was my teammate.
Now your teammate.
Yeah, so
what a really big
amazing. That's really scoring big, isn't it?
Amazing. So we're still in conversation with Alois Bunjira, talking about his school big moment. Imagine from Zengeza to Prince Edward, from seeing your stars, from cutting their pinouts, from the magazines to the newspapers to playing with them. That's his story. We're going to go on a break and we come back and finish off on what he started. So please do not go anywhere.
The album NetOne Hyundai Valley Marathon has been officially measured, ratified, and certified by World Athletics and the Association of International Marathons and Distance Races. The certification was carried out by Coach White, Zimbabwe's only qualified Grade C World Athletics and AIMS route measurer. This prestigious certification elevates the Hyundai Valley Marathon to a nationally certified course, officially recognized on the International Athletics calendar. Most importantly, this means the event can now serve as a qualifier for major global races, including the Comrades Marathon and other internationally sanctioned competitions. The Hyundai Valley course is now the only ratified and certified route in Manicaland province, and one of the very few across Zimbabwe to achieve the standard. This is not just a win for the event, it's a win for athletes, for the province, and for Zimbabwean athletics as a whole.
So welcome back, and it's no secret that the conversation has been exciting, and Alois, you've made it easier for me, you've made it easier for the viewers. Now from 1994, football started for you.
Yes.
And 1999, you're part of the dream team. You're playing for Zimbabwe, you're playing with Grobler, you're playing against South Africa. Everything is exciting.
Yeah.
You also went to South Africa.
Yes.
Let's quickly look into life in South Africa. Mamelodi Sundowns, Kwakwa. We're also looking at Wits University. How was that?
It was very nice. South Africa was good. South Africa was also good to me. You know, my first time in South Africa, I ran away. I went with Usman Misi for trials. I think that was 1993, and we were at Orlando Pirates at that time, and we were staying in Hillbrow.
Okay.
So this one morning we woke up, we went to go and buy bread for breakfast, and we see this man lying, in a pool of blood, and he had just been stabbed, and people were just walking, jumping over him and just going, like nothing.
It's natural.
Yeah, I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, but this is a dead man. This is dead. I was like, nah, man. We asked the people, what happened? He was just stabbed just now, and then what made me so scared was there were guys that were playing. They were playing Anuzi Makasai, like the cards. He's sitting there, and now he does this, and there was a gun here. He had a gun behind here. I'd never seen a gun in my life. I've never been close.
And
to
this is your
gun.
first time seeing a gun?
Yeah, I only seen those guns at one commando barracks. Those ones we are not scared of. So I see this guy. I'm like, Usman, me, I'm not staying here. So that very night, I booked my Greyhound. It was still Blue Arrow, the Blue Arrow bus, and I said, I'm going back home. And Usman stayed. So Shepard Murape, he was the assistant coach at Pirates. When he came, he was told Alois is gone. I came back. Yes, that's where I played. I played the last few games for Tarenti. That was before I went to. I went to the States, by the way, because of that period. It was the first few games of 1994, and when I came back, and now when I got the call now to go back to South Africa, I was very skeptical. Peter Nyama came. We were training with the national team at the national stadium. I had been injured. I had been injured for a while. When I was at Cape United, so my knee was still sore at that time. I had just came back because I got injured on my tendon. Then the following season, 1997, then I got injured my knee. Yeah. So I stayed for about 8 months without playing football. Then I started getting back into football in 1998. The season started. I was not playing. I only started playing in the game, the third place playoff Independence. We got beaten by Dynamos in the semi-final here. So the third place playoff was in Bulawayo. That's when I begged the coaches to play because they were still worried about my knee. Yeah. So I begged them to play, So we went, they said, okay, you will play. So they said, we will play you in the first half in case you are injured, so we don't want to get you as a substitute and take you out again. So rather you start,
and then we assess.
If you are not okay, we take you out. Then I said, okay, that's fine. So I went to Bulawayo. Guess what? We beat Islanders 8-2.
Your way.
I scored 5.
That was a lot.
Yes, I scored 5.
With a very painful knee.
Yes, and it was there until quite independence celebration on Independence Day. It was until White City Stadium on Independence Day as well. Yeah. So it was an independence celebration at White City. So the Vice President Musik was the one who was there. So now the Cape United fans were so joyful that they invaded the pitch. They were lifting me up. So John he didn't know who I was. Then the police had to come to grab me from the fans. To stage, garage.
My vice president.
Yes. So he was saying, man, why you want? Why you? That's when he was told that this is Alois. What? So from that day, when we came back, the coaches put me in. I started playing. That's when I started playing. So I started playing towards the end of April. And when Peter Nyama heard
that you're now playing,
that I'm back, he came, and lucky enough, also the national team coach also called me. I think it was Sunday Jitambwe at that time. Also, when I started playing, I only played 2-3 games, and I was called to the national team, back to the national team. Yeah. So Peter Nyama came to look for me. I think he was so scared that someone was going to grab me. So he came when he was coaching Kwak.
Okay.
So that's when he came, and at the national stadium he talked to the coaches, and he took me out of training. We went straight to Grabowski's house, and negotiations were done that I should go to Free State for trials. That's how I went to
South Africa.
To Kwakwa.
I went Kwakwa. So it's not Kwakwa, it's Kwakwa.
No, it's not Kwakwa. It's
Kwakwa. I know, thank you for clarifying.
Yeah. But I only stayed there for 3 months.
For 3 months?
I stayed there for 3 months, yes. Because we played against Wits University.
And they got you?
At Wits, yeah, I caused so much trouble. And Ed Lewis was coaching. So they had, I was still new, they had that this is a Zimbabwean. So what they did, they went to Charles Johan. Charles Johan was playing for Wits. They asked him, at halftime, they were already asking, who is that Zimbabwean who is playing there? Then Charlie said, he's my friend, because I was close friends with Charlie. Yeah, then they said, hey, we want him. We want him here. Yeah, so after the game, they pulled me by the corner. We want you here. Then I directed them to my manager, Mike Macab, and the next day Mike was calling me, said they want you at Vets. But how I go to Vets, it's like mafia. It's a story for another day.
It's a story for another day.
It's a story for another day.
No, it's incredible as well. Yeah. But then we can never finish your story. It will take us maybe a lifetime to talk about your greatness. Let's come back home. Fatherhood. You now have a son who plays for Caps United.
Yes.
I've seen you supporting him.
Yeah.
You've done so well for him.
Yeah.
He plays for Caps United. I remember watching you watch him at Golden Eagles.
Yeah, yeah.
How does it feel for a father to look at a footballer who's also your offspring?
It feels good.
Yeah.
To be honest, it feels good. He was born a footballer. I never forced him to play football. You know, the first time that I actually watched him and believed that he was a good footballer, we were still in South Africa. He was born in South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was just outside our complex. You know, he had these friends, they were playing in the complex. You know, same things that I'm going to talk.
Yeah.
But now it was in the complex. So I was just standing there by the balcony, and I was watching him play, and I was amazed the way he was slicing through these little boys. I think at that time he was in grade 2. You know, that's when I was like, but he can play. So now, when he was in grade 3, grade 4, that's when he was recruited into the Midrand Primary School soccer team. And they called me. They thought I didn't know that he was good. They called me. The coach called me, like, come and see this. Your son is brilliant. And he was playing against these big boys.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Then that's when I now felt that he can play football at Midrand Primary School. When we came back, he was now in grade 5.
Yeah.
He was at Zengeza 7 Primary School. Straight away, he was in the first team at Zengeza 7. And he was player of the year at Zengeza 7. No, we first went to Alfred Bate, grade 5. Then he was player of the year at Alfred Bate. Then we transferred him to... No, he was Zengeza 7 in grade 5.
Yeah.
He was the soccer... Then we came to Alfred Bate. He was soccer star of the year, grade 6, grade 7 as well. That's when he also got the scholarship to go to Deure.
Okay.
So at that time now, I was now hands-on.
You were now part of it?
I was now part of it now.
Yeah.
I would, when he comes back for holidays, take him by myself.
This is what Chris Cross used to do.
And everything. But he was also part of my academy. I had an academy at that time.
Okay.
So he was part of my academy. At the same time, he had extra training at home. You know, so technique-wise, technique is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we have really seen what he can do with the ball in Zimbabwe at the moment. He can do a lot more, you know, because technically he's gifted. He's sound. But then he's very sound, yeah.
Do you look at him and maybe feel like there's a pressure to replicate what his father did, or he's playing his own game?
Yeah, there's pressure, because everywhere he goes, he's told about my soccer career, how good I was, and I can see it gets to him. The only plus for him is he's a bit on the arrogant side.
Oh,
yeah, which is a plus, because he will come and even tell me that they think I care about how good you are. I mean, I'm playing my own game, and besides, I don't play the way he used to play, so they can't compare. But deep down, you know, he actually plays the way I used to play anyway. He's almost similar positions.
Yeah.
But he is that arrogant. But the pressure, I think he has done well.
Yes, done
as far as the pressure. But there's a lot, you know. The only downside is social media. Social media is actually downside. I think there have been some comments, and some people have been unfair.
And you've defended him quite well.
Yeah, they've been so unfair to him, and I feel for him. You know, sometimes they are brutal when they start comparing him with me and all that, but they also forget that, you know, this is a youngster who is cutting his own
timelines as well.
Different timelines, and they didn't grow up the way we did. You know, we were polished in the streets. These kids were never polished in the streets, you know. So it has been unfair, but I think he has done well.
Wow,
he has done well for himself, and I'm very proud that he is doing that, and I'm very proud that he's wearing that green and white as well. You know, following the footsteps that I went through, and he's confident about his abilities, and I'm sure he would do well if he does. There was a time, I think it was last year, he was doing well. He was actually going up. You know, I actually thought this one is going to do better than I did. You know, so I still believe that he has the talent to actually go on and do better than I did.
Yeah, amazing. I believe he's also proud of you, and he's proud that he comes from such a good footballer. But then I've seen everyone talks about how much you are a fitness enthusiast.
Yes.
I've seen pictures of you in the gym, and this has also maybe prompted you to start the Alban Honde Valley Marathon. How did that come up? And I believe there's one also coming in sooner. So let's get into detail with that, how this year it's going to be different, or how you're planning to make it bigger and better. But transition from football to marathon and fitness, how did that happen?
I think it was always, I was always a fitness enthusiast because even when I was playing, we used to run a lot, you know, even before we graduated into the first team from Zengeza, St. Mary's, Tungwiza, we used to run as Stewart and Alois Gazza, Gift Mudangwes, and them. We used to wake up every morning, 5:30, we would run from St. Mary's, Pama Orange, like Pama Ruta, Hetfield, and back to Tungwiza. So we were really fit. You know, we emphasized much more, we respected being fit because I believe when you are fit, you can do whatever you want with the ball. You know, add fitness and talent, you've got one good player. So I used to do that. Even when I went to South Africa, I used to run on my own. I remember this other coach at Mamelodi Sundowns, Cavalcante, Jama Cavalcante. He was from Brazil, he's Brazilian, and we had a problem with our right back. Our right back got injured, and I was playing right link, and he decided that he was not replacing the right back. He was putting in another midfielder in. And guess what? He said, Alois, you are operating the whole wing by yourself. I looked at him. I'd never played a wing back
which
before
is very industrious.
In my life. Then he was like, you're the fittest here. You're the fittest here, and you're going to do it. You know, so I played. And from there onwards, you know, people don't believe it, that at Sundowns, I was moved from a midfielder to a right wing back. I actually played that role for the rest of the time that he was there. I only switched back when he left, but I was playing there. So for me, it was always fitness. So when I came back from South Africa, I carried on going to the gym, doing my runs and all that. So this other guy was in a fitness club. So I joined this fitness club, and we were just doing our gym work. It was gym at 5th Avenue. But then these people started saying, why don't you form a fitness club? You know, you're so much into fitness. Why don't you form a fitness club? Because it's kind of like, that's what's happening right now. Then that's when I decided, you know what, but I can actually form a fitness club because I was already doing it. You know, I used to encourage people on Facebook. You know, I would post at the gym encouraging people. Then I actually had a following of people that loved fitness. So those are the very same people that I recruited into my fitness group. And then when I went to Honde Valley for holiday, and I woke up the very same thing that I used to do, I started jogging. You know, that's when it struck me that, you know what, this can actually be a good marathon route. So I called the guys in that group now to tell them, guys, there's a nice trek here. Can't we do a marathon here? So the guys agreed with me. They said, it's actually quite cool. Let's try it. So the other weekend we drove together to Honde Valley, and I showed them the route. Then we decided we're going to do it. That's how we came out with that idea of doing the Honde Valley Marathon in 2023.
And then this year, how big is it going to be?
This year it's going to be really, really big because of the response that we have gotten from athletes, the response that we've gotten from runners, the casual runners, the professional runners, elite runners, and the response that we've gotten from the corporate world.
Yes, ma'am.
It's amazing, and the beauty of it is that NetOne actually came out and said that, Alois, you know what, we want this thing to be very big this year, more than it has ever been. We want it very big. You know, when you're getting that from your principal sponsor, we don't want to call it a sponsor, we talked about it. They are not sponsors, they are partners. We are partners in this, and when you hear your partner saying that we want this to be really big, you know, we decided not, you either go big or you don't do it at all. So we went out there and try to be big. Then that's when we also decided, you know what, we also wanted to be a qualifier for international races.
Amazing.
So we got in touch with the guys at the World Athletics Board, the guys that do the Comrades Marathon measurements. So they gave us a quotation which was quite big at the time, but then they called back and said, now there is now a Zimbabwean, you know, Coach White, who can actually measure, because at that time there was only South African guys who could do that. Yes. So now there's one guy who wrote the exams or something like that and passed here in Zimbabwe, Coach White. Yeah, so Coach White was introduced to us. They said he can actually do that for you. So we took him. We went to Wonder Valley. The first time we were not successful. That's when we got the accident. We were actually with Coach White and them, and we got the accident, that tragic accident that took away my partner. And it was a sad time. So we came back for 3 weeks. We didn't do nothing, and then people started calling and say, what's happening? Are we still going through with the marathon? Then I had to gather my strength and courage to say that now we're gonna do it, and now we're gonna do it for Brenda. So we are so determined to do it for Brenda, to make it as big as it should. From what we got from NetOne, the assurance that we are backing you, partner, let's do this. And so we're going to do it. We're going to make it big, and already it's promising because we can already see we have not launched as yet. But then people are already registering and responding. We are only launching on the 8th of October at the CEO Hub in Simon Mazorodze, but already the response, people are already ahead of us. They're going ahead of us and saying, we are registering already, give us the registration code. We had to do the registration code ahead of time because people already wanted to register. So we are very confident that this is going to be a very big marathon, and we are also happy that it's going that way, because Brenda would have loved to see this marathon grow big. She was passionate. She was very passionate about this project. So we basically getting some of the strength from knowing that we want to make her happy.
Amazing. So this year it's going to be about her. This year it's going to be bigger, and everyone is going to be part of it. But unfortunately, time is going to be an enemy. I would have loved to go on and on. But before we close, I just want you talk about football on radio. I just want you to let the world understand, when you look into the Kasolaga Premier League now, and the time that you played, are we going where we're supposed to be going, or we have dropped drastically?
We have dropped drastically. That I can say unapologetically, and it's heartbreaking to actually see the level that we are at. But this didn't come as a surprise, because this thing, if you remember when I used to write Far Post column when I was still in South Africa, these are the things that I used to talk about, that at some point this is going to catch up with us. When we decided to abandon junior football development and all that, we are getting by, but slowly we are going to lose it, because it's going to catch up. There's no successful footballing nation that you can see in the world that does not do junior development. You cannot. So I'm actually happy now we have started, we have seen it. We've seen the results, and now we have reverted back to trying to do the correct way. I hope that we are going to do the correct way. I've seen President Magwizi is very big on grassroots football, on development. I hope he follows up his word, his passion, or his enthusiasm, that they can actually see, we can see things physically on the ground happening, that we need to go back to development. You cannot. That's the problem. You see players like Junior, they were so unfortunate. They didn't have the luxury that we had. He never played for any junior national team.
Yeah.
Not because he was not good, but because there was no junior national team.
There was no junior national team.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of boys did that. They didn't play for the junior national teams. Onana Chiweta, all these kids, they didn't play for the junior national teams because they were not there. They didn't play junior league.
Because there was no there.
You look at Junior Bunjira.
Yeah.
He didn't play in any junior league until he started playing for Golden Eagles.
True.
There was no junior league at all. So you can forgive these kids that they are not giving what their output is not corresponding with the talent that they've got, because we didn't harness this talent, we didn't develop this talent, we didn't refine this talent to reach where they're supposed to reach, because we neglected them when they needed us the most at development level. So we need to go back there. So basically we are not where we are supposed to be, but I hope that in future we'll get back. I'm just happy that the Premier League is vibrant at the moment. There's vibe, there's more money coming into football at the moment, with the coming in of Scott Sakupanya, Simbandoros, and them. They've just brought this vibe with Farajere coming. Sometimes because Pindo Scott, you find yes. So this is what we want for football. There's so much vibe in Zimbabwean football at the moment. We just hope that this carries on into next season. I just hope there somehow we just go back to that licensing system where clubs are obliged or are forced to have correct structures of football, so that we can actually start going back to where we are supposed to be. But I like the vibe that we are having right now.
Amazing.
I was at Rufaro Stadium, Capes versus Dynamos, almost a full house, the singing, the fans singing and all that. This is what we want to see for Zimbabwean football. I hope this carries on.
Amazing. I think you are the first guest I'm going to call back. It's been a very amazing interview, a very exciting conversation with you. I liked it. And,
I'll be back. Anytime you call me, I'll come back.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hello world. This was Alois Bunjira, GQ, known as Quincy Chris Cruz, one of the fastest players to ever play for the national team at the age of 17, and went on to play for Caps United, went on to play for this amazing,
then Fritz, then
Mamelodi Sundowns. Midfielder to right back. But I mean, it has been a very exciting career for you.
Before you go, I'm always being accused, and rightfully so. I can actually see that is also happening now.
Yeah.
Why do you always omit Blackpool?
I talked about Blackpool.
Yeah, we never really talked about Blackpool. No, we didn't.
No, I will talk about Blackpool.
Guys, I played for Blackpool. I played from Darren T. I went to Blackpool before I joined Cape United.
You just had to clarify.
Yes.
So that's Alois Bunjira, from Darren Textiles to Blackpool to Mamelodi Sundowns, Cape United, you name it. It's been a very exciting career and also an exciting conversation. But remember, this was brought to you live by NetOne, the world in one, bringing you and your world in one place through our fast and reliable internet services. I'm Tendai, and until next time, it's goodbye.
The album NetOne Hyundai Value Marathon has been officially measured, ratified, and certified by World Athletics and the Association of International Marathons and Distance Races. The certification was carried out by Coach White, Zimbabwe's only qualified Grade C World Athletics and Ames route measurer. This prestigious certification elevates the Hyundai Value Marathon to a nationally certified course, officially recognized on the International Athletics calendar. Most importantly, this means the event can now serve as a qualifier for major global races, including the Comrades Marathon and other internationally sanctioned competitions. The Hyundai Valley course is now the only ratified and certified route in Manicaland province, and one of the very few across Zimbabwe to achieve the standard. This is not just a win for the event, it's a win for athletes, for the province, and for Zimbabwean athletics as a whole.